Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. Happy Friday. What's going on, guys? I am going to be breaking down something for you. Now, if you're not up to date, the debate between Candace Owens and the Turning Point gang, Turning Point in the gang, is actually not going to be happening. It's going to be happening in a different way, but we will get to that. I'm going to be breaking down to you the whole bunch of events that happened, what people are thinking, what people are saying online on X and whatnot. But I dug a little deeper, and I think I figured out why it can't happen on Candace's side and why it needed to happen at a very specific date and time on Turning Point's side. Now, I think there's multiple layers to that, but I'm going to break it all down for you guys. Now, let's just jump in case you didn't know, you didn't see my video before, maybe you're not on X, but Blake himself of Turning Point, he said for the past 3 months, we've received a flood of questions about Candace and all of her claims about Charlie's closest friends. For 3 months, we preferred to stay silent, but the attacks have not stopped. Today, I delivered this response. Now, in this response, basically, I'm not going to bore you with this scripted response that Blake gave. That was more than likely written by Andrew because he's the spokesperson. He's the guy. Now, basically, Blake is just saying, you know, you're saying all these things. He's bringing up claims that she's made. He's doing it very in bad faith. He's like talking about underground tunnels, and he's trying to make it out to seem like Candace is crazy, basically. And he's basically saying, hey, listen, you've said all these things. We're all going to be doing a live stream. We would love to have you there in person so we could address every single one of these claims. Makes sense. Perfect person. I would say her or me or Ian would be the perfect person. But obviously Candace, that's the one. She's the Daenerys of this whole thing, right? Going back to her village that she helped establish, you know, her castle. But what ended up happening was he gave this date and time. Now, what happened first is he didn't give a date and time. He just said, we're going to have a live stream. Then at 1:30 in the morning, Blake decides to put out the date and time of the live stream. Okay. And also, Candace only has 24 hours to respond, which means that it was up for a good, 8 hours before Candace even saw that this was happening. She had to be told. We found out via her live stream that she was actually told about this from one of her assistants. I believe her name's, I think it was Savannah, I believe. So she had to be told about this. So a chunk of time, a third of the time has already gone by. And Candace now has to scramble. Now, let me show you what Blake said at 1:30. He says, the live stream we announced on the show Wednesday has been set. 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th, a collection of Charlie's closest friends will respond to statements made by Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest. This is very interesting, right? And remember that. So America Fest is about to happen. Then he says, we'll be live streaming from Charlie's Phoenix studio. He's saying, our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she is welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of the day. So this guy's saying end of day. It's not even 24 hours. He's saying end of day. He just put this out 1:30 in the morning. She's seeing it by 8. She has to let them know by like 5 or 6. So it's a little silly that he's doing this kind of thing, right? And obviously many people thought it was silly, and everybody who's against Candace and kind of with Philadelphia is sitting back like, whoa, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Come on, you could do it. You can do it. It's literally like when somebody who was running for president said to Joe Rogan, you come to me and you do the episode and I won't do 3 hours. I'll do 45 minutes, but you fly to me, please. And Joe was like, what? No, it never works like that ever. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And everybody was like, wow, I can't believe Joe. Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. Completely unfair. All right, guys, there's 3 things I need you to do. Like, subscribe, and go check out the Patreon. That's it. Get back to the episode. You know, it's the exact same type of energy here. Now, Candace, of course, because Blake is saying this on X, so Candace is responding on X. She says, kind of weird that you didn't email me or call me to ask about times or availability and choose instead to tweet this confirmation out at midnight, probably midnight her time. Why am I learning about this on X? December 15th does not work in person, and 2 p.m. PT is also literally the time I do my podcast live every day, which you knew, but we will happily cancel the daily podcast and we will join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th. If that works on your end, let's lock it in. So this is her responding. She said, let's lock it in, ? Everybody thought that was perfect. People on both sides were like, oh, okay, I guess that's how it's going to happen. Everybody, whether you are just decked out in Philadelphia gear, you know, you got your Philadelphia cream cheese, maybe some lox on that cream cheese. I don't know. I'm talking about Philadelphia. Well, they got bagels in Philadelphia. Anyway, but everybody on either side of things thought that's perfect. Virtual makes perfect sense. They've seen Turning Point people do things virtual. We've seen Candace do interviews virtual. So it just makes sense. I mean, Charlie Kirk's last 2 interviews, actually his last interview that he did with Ben Shapiro, was virtual. They made it work, right? I like to bring up that interview because so many things were said in that interview. Then Candace also adds to what I just read. She says, I will also add that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day. Before then, virtually as well, I was serious when I said we could do it today even. Virtually, I can make it happen pretty much any day because it's easier to move things around with the kids and I'll find someone to sub for my morning homeschooling. Makes sense. Makes sense. So everybody was like, okay, so she's not backing down. She's not backing out, right? She thought it was pretty weird. She even said so here.
So Turning Point issued an ultimatum, I don't know, an invitation, gave me 24 hours to respond to a tweet that they sent at midnight. Very strange. Again, everything just seems to be very strange and unnecessary that is coming out of Turning Point USA. We're going to find out.
So right there, you know, this is what people had to say. Like one person said to her when she put this tweet out, said, this is cowardice. An in-person is never going to happen. Candace, of course, clapped back to that. She said, no, Graham, cowardice is you cashing checks from PragerU. Oh, I love it. From PragerU to go after me while pretending this is organic. Influencers taking money to attack people is cowardice. Throw a heart on that one. Throw a repost on that one. Come on. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, that's not a part of the episode, but yeah, obviously that's what's happening. Clearly that's what's happening. I want to get into it so bad, but it's like it happened with Harry Sisson, right? Harry Sisson, he's an influencer. He's posting all this very pro DNC type stuff, and he has a company, or he works for a company or is under a company called Palette Management, and Palette Management is receiving huge payments from the DNC. And it's like, what do we think's going on? And you think that only goes on the left? Come on, get out of here. You know, honestly, again, biased, but never blind. That's me. I know when I'm biased, but I'm not blind. But honestly, what I think that they're trying to do is they're trying to, and this is a very textbook move. I've seen this many times. They're trying to show that they tried, right? And it's kind of boxing her in a way. So they come out of nowhere and they say, hey, live stream. We're going to live stream. We'd like you to be there in person. And everybody goes, wow, they're finally whoa, they're rolling out some kind of, not really a red carpet. It's kind of a brown, kind of, muddy carpet, but fine. It's rolled out. It's there. And then they just go, well, it has to be at this time and it has to be at this place and you have to show up in person. And then you're kind of like, okay, that's kind of, they're boxing her in, because what's most likely going to happen to the lady with 4 kids and a husband that has the #1 podcast in the world? What's more than likely going to happen is that she's going to say, well, can we do it a different day? That doesn't work. And they're going to go, well, how about that? I guess she doesn't hey guys, we tried, but I guess she's just not up to the task. She's afraid of the General Mikey McCoy and the smartest man in the world, Blake, and the debonair Andrew. Oh, and the pure-hearted Frank Turek. Hooray! She's just afraid of all these guys. I'm so sorry. We really wanted it to work, everybody. But, I mean, sorry. She's just a coward. That's what they're trying to pull off here. And I think everybody kind of really saw that for what it was. One person even said this, and I follow this guy, so I wanted to shout him out. They want to create perception. Exactly. We tried, but she didn't show up. We tried to answer her questions, but she didn't show up. They treat Charlie's audience like they're They treat their Charlie's audience like they're not that smart. That's why the show is floundering in his wake. That's 100% true. 100% true. And it's very sad to see. Very sad to see. If you're going to continue Charlie's podcast, you got to get somebody who's like a podcast powerhouse. Honestly, you should. It should be me. It should be me. Hey guys, what's going on? I just took over the Charlie Kirk show, and my first guest is Candace Owens. How you doing, Candace? That's my first guest, Candace Owens. Candace, is there anything you'd like to talk to us about? All right, it's been about 2 weeks. We're going to have Candace Owens on again. Is everybody ready for Candace Owens here, guys? Ian Carroll's my next guest. I'm going to be having Baron Coleman's coming on in a week or so. Oh, it'd be good. They'd be good shows, I promise. I promise. Somebody tell Andrew, I'm the guy. I'll do it. That would be hilarious. But getting back to the topic, yesterday, this is Blake responding to what Candace said. She said, that's kind of weird. What's going on? Availability. Blake says, yesterday, we made it clear that we would be scheduling a formal response to the allegations and accusations you have made. He's acting like we set this up weeks ago, just so you know. Just like the construction at UVU. This was set up weeks ago. Come on now. We've decided that response will be delivered during a live stream on December 15th. Thank you for your response, letting us know you will not be joining in a person conversation. We will be proceeding without you. Now, what is actually cowardice in this whole equation after what you've just learned, after what I've just broken down for you? He basically just sends out this very monotone, no emotion type of thing, almost like ChatGPT just was handling business on his account or something, and says that they're just proceeding without her, like as if it can't be done virtually. Blake was just on with Frank Turek virtually. Charlie would talk to Megan, all sorts of people virtually. And all of a sudden now they're like, well, I guess she can't show up. And it's leading everybody to start thinking, why is it so important that Candace be there in person? Why does she have to be there? Why can't she do it virtually? And it's making everybody very suspect, as you'll find out as I go through what people's thoughts are. But that was the response. Basically, they're calling it off. And they have this perception, maybe to someone who doesn't know what's going on, that she's the one backing out. He even says it at the end. Thank you for your response, letting us know you will not be joining the in-person conversation. Because that's not what you do in a situation like this. I've interviewed hundreds of people. You say, oh yeah, the 15th doesn't work. What about the 14th? Yeah, 14th. Does the 14th work? Okay. How about the 12th to the 13th? Either one of those? The 12th does work? Okay, what time? We want to do 2 p.m. Can you do 2 p.m.? Okay, you can't. You can do 1. Okay, can we do 1:30? That's what you do. That's it. Because you really want to sit down with the person. But if you don't really want to sit down with the person, as soon as they give any kind of pushback, you go, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need to do this. That's exactly what he's doing there. And again, people are just going to be like, well, the people who support Turning Point and Philadelphia, because this is more a Candace Philadelphia thing than it is a Candace Turning Point thing. I mean, let's just be honest. It really is. At this point, that's what it is. I'm just saying. And I know you guys are with me on that. But now, Jimmy Dore actually spoke up. He said, I knew you'd pull something like this, and here it is. Everyone, including you, knows that's not how you book a guest on a show. You are supposed to contact them and find a mutual, agreeable date and time. You don't publicly announce the date before it's confirmed. It's transparency. It's transparently obvious what you're doing here, but you're all shady AF, including all the pastors, quote unquote, you're associated with. Nice ratio, by the way. I love that Jimmy knows about ratios. That's amazing. That's so funny. Oh, man. Oh, nice ratio, by the way. Wow. Jimmy did it. Oh, and then Blake Blake responded to Jimmy. I did not see that. Blake says, of course it isn't how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest. We never said we were. We were delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She's given the opportunity to join and declined. See, he's really going for that thing of she is the one who's declining. But actually, when he does that long monologue, that long scripted, completely looking down, the thing was just written and he is just getting it in his hands, Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon style monologue. You like how I did all that? That was very niche. It's very niche. But he says, this is all for Candace. Like, we want to actually go down all the accusations that Candace has made. And we want Candace to be there so we can handle this once and for all. That was the gist of what he wanted to have happen, alongside some other people from Turning Point and Candace. So you are booking a guest. You're just doing it in a very, very shady way. And now you're acting like, oh, we weren't booking her. This was happening either way. Well, then why did you announce it and make Candace the focal point of the whole thing? And then ask her to show up and then announce the date without her. And now you're proceeding without her. What is that? That doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't proceed without her when you want to actually address what she's saying to you. So now, what is this thing going to be? What is this going to be? It's going to be 5 guys from Turning Point being like, hey, you know, Candace is a liar. Hey, I agree. She's making things up. I know. Mikey over here was a general. He's the greatest guy ever. Hey, guys, I just want to let you know, I am a general. I did find myself. And sometimes you walk when people get shot. Can I get an amen, boys? Amen. Hooray. They're all going to be patting each other on the back. This is going to be like, what? What is this going to be now? We just want to go through they're just going to be doing things very loosely. Let's just go through the secret tunnels. There's no secret tunnels. Egyptian planes. There's no Egyptian planes. Mikey McCoy walking. Mikey McCoy looks gorgeous when he walks. Can I get an amen, boys? Amen. High fives all around. Let's go. Come on. What? This is ridiculous. It's going to be so silly. There's no point of even doing this. The announcement just doesn't even make sense. Why announce it? But of course, again, there's people on his side, right? Somebody said, you kept your word, and she's moving goalposts now. In actuality, it seems like Blake's moving goalposts, but, you know, this type of thing is going to happen. You're going to have people that are on his side. Again, it's more of a Philadelphia thing than anything. I don't think people are like, that Blake, cool, man, Charlie's gone, but geez, that Blake really fills the seat. Nobody's doing that. Honest, like, let's be real. I think even Blake knows that. He's more of a behind the scenes guy. You know, it's not a shot at him. He's a behind the scenes guy. He knows how to, he's the strategy guy. It wasn't all just Charlie strategizing. Is guys like Blake, Andrew was a spokesman. You know, Andrew would be going around with Mikey was head of staffing, chief of staff, you know, like they all had their roles. Blake's role is not really being front and center on camera. So he is trying his best. He is trying his best. I've learned that not everybody can do what I'm doing here. It's not the easiest thing in the world, honestly. Feels like it to me. Feels like it to me though. No, I'm kidding. It's nerve-wracking sometimes, especially when you have to read. Candace, this is somebody just reporting on Candace. Candace, let's do it tomorrow. Turning point. You have to come to our office. It can't be virtual. We're not going to work with your schedule. It has to be on December 15th at 2 p.m. When you film your show, you have to tell us today. That's basically what Blake did. It's wild. And somebody else brought this up. And again, you know, you got to think about that. Interesting. Wasn't Charlie's event sporadic and scheduled quickly? And that's what a lot of people are kind of veering towards when they hear that it has to be in person. I mean, let's be honest. This is beef. This is beef, what's going on. We don't call it that because we're all professionals here, right? We have our Speedos on and whatnot. But it is beef. And listen, I haven't always just been the podcast guy who wears his headphones tilted like this. I haven't always been this person, right? Father and husband. When you have I've been in a situation where you got to be really street smart. I have a past where you had to be really street smart. If you have 5 people who don't like you and you've been talking smack about them and they say, come to this place at this time and let us know when you're here, you don't exactly do that. I'm just saying. That's like 2 mob families. And somebody's like, hey, tell Vinny Prosciutto that Paulie wants to see him. He comes here at 3:00. Vinny Prosciutto's going to be like, what, you think I'm born yesterday? You think I'm born yesterday? Listen. Tell Paulie 2-time that Vinny Prosciutto doesn't just show up at somebody's house. We're going to go somewhere neutral, like a Starbucks or something, you know? Johnny 2-times actually owns a Starbucks down the street. Yeah, we'll go to Tommy's place. Tommy has a coffee shop. We'll be there. No guns. I could go real deep into that mob bit if I wanted to. I could reach real deep in there. But you know what I mean? You shouldn't really do something like that. And I know to some people it's like, well, that's just ridiculous. Come on. But it's like, is it? I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying anything would happen, but if something did, you're just going to have Mikey walk away. You're going to have Blake do a little hop skip away. You're going to have Andrew just disappear. And then you're going to have Brian Harpole, because their security's still on staff. You're going to have Brian Harpole. He's going to be like, well, these guys got your back. We all got the tattoo. It's fine. And then they're going to be down there, God forbid, down there on Candace. They're going to be like, we were working on her. Their hands are going to be pristine. Nothing on their hands. We were working hard. Oh, I don't know what happened. I mean, and Sean Ryan's going to be like, tell me about that. What was happening? Well, we had to get her off the X. We really, we're always taught you got to get someone off the X. Sean's going to be like, yes, that's actually true. Just for anyone that doesn't know, you have to get people off the X. I'm tired of hearing people talking bad about Brian here. Just saying, that interview still rubs me the wrong way. And then somebody says, you really don't know why Candace doesn't want to go where Turning Point tells her to. Now, he used the wrong 2. He used 2 with 2 O's. That's not the right one. He used the wrong one. Mr. who can't pronounce anybody's name properly is like like I'm telling people how to do grammar here. Uh, but I dig a little deeper, and it seems like the actual reason. Shout out to the person who tagged me in this. It seems like the actual reason is because it's her husband's birthday. Now, this is a screenshot, right? Again, shout out to this person here. You told me about this. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. But I had to go check it out myself. So I'm like, is this true? This is her husband, George Farmer. Guy has 4 names. Wow. Such royalty, huh? Born December 15th. That's why December 15th doesn't work for Candace. And she's still willing to do it virtually. I mean, come on. During his birthday. But that's why it doesn't work in person, because she would be flying. She would be away. It would be all day. She'd be gone for his entire birthday, maybe come home late at night when his birthday's done. So she didn't want to do it because of that reason. Now, I will say Candace has decided this is what she's going to do instead. It has been decided by the public that the best response for this is for my team to live stream your live stream and provide commentary. Since you already picked our regular podcasting time, we look forward to providing live responses to you and your once and for all answers. Providing responses to your once and for all answers. Man, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I really wish that it would happen. Listen, I honestly wish it would happen in person. I think Candace works best in person. I think it would be fiery. I think even if it's 4 of them against 1, I think Candace would be able to break it down so well. I really want her to ask Andrew what he meant by it should have been you, and that there's a list and, credible threats and all that stuff. I really wish she could ask him that stuff in person. I really wish she could ask Mikey McCoy really what happened. What was the series of events? Because you're not being clear and your father clearly made things up. I just think she would work so well in person. They wouldn't be able to handle her and virtually as well. So this is for us. Basically, this is for us, right? This doesn't really benefit Candace. She could just do a show. She doesn't really have to do anything like this. This is for us as the community of people who want to hear the truth. But now we go a little deeper. That's why Candace couldn't do the 15th. Why does Blake say it has to be the 15th? Preparing for AmFest, he says. Okay, that's what it seems like. But I think there's something more strategic going on here. Now I'm on Turning Point USA's website here, right? We go down. I just want to show you guys something here. So we go here. Okay, advisory council, right? Check that out. Okay. You seeing anything here? Right? Hold on. Was that person at the bottom? I thought that said William Shakespeare. I was going to be like, these guys are making up employees. They're not, though. They're not. But if you look here, you used to see our team. Charlie's still there as founder. Okay. Fine. But Candace is gone. So there's something very strategic going on. They just removed Candace. I just looked at this like days ago. They just removed Candace out of nowhere. Okay. But that's not all. Also, this is going to be going on December 13th. I think there's something very strategic going on with Turning Point. I don't think that they're like Candace. I don't think that they're like me. I think they think through every single thing they're going to do. I think when they go silent, they're like, okay, this is the plan. We're going to go with the plan. And when Blake said that message, that was also part of a plan. And it wasn't just to hype up AmFest or America Fest. It wasn't just to hype that up. It was because, and I think this is what's going to happen. Erica Kirk, she is going to be on Grief, Politics, and More, moderated by Barry Weiss. Now, if you don't know Barry Weiss, she is Philadelphia, okay? When it comes to media, and just recently she got this like $150 million deal for her, I I think it's called the Freedom Press or the Free Press or something like that. And it didn't make any sense because if you looked at the views, if they're giving her 150 million, they would have to give me 400 million. And it's just like, why? Why would you do that? Just based on views and metrics and engagement. There was none. Super, super, super hardcore Philadelphia supporter she is. I think this is going to be the day where, and this is why they did it on the 15th, because this would have been the day, or is going to be the day, where Erica has to condemn Candace Owens. That's what I think. I think what Ben Shapiro did to Megyn Kelly, I think Barry Weiss is going to do to Erica Kirk. And she's going to say, how do you feel about this? And it's going to be a positioning of disavowing Candace Owens. That's what I think is going to be happening here. I don't know if it's going to be for Tucker as well, but Barry Weiss, of course, because of the Philadelphia connection, she really doesn't like Candace, really doesn't like Tucker. I think this is going to be the day where Erica, who is now the CEO and running Turning Point, is going to have to disavow Candace, because it's not enough that she just runs the company. This is just my view. It's not enough that she just runs the company. It's not enough that she just does a good job. They need her to disavow Candace. Right now, they need everybody to disavow Candace as quickly as possible. And I think this is going to be the day that they do that. And then 2 days later, Turning Point would be doing the exact same thing and putting Candace in her place on December 15th. And then their America Fest would happen. I bet you Tucker Carlson's not on. I bet he's off of that running right now. It's just going to be like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, you know? And like Cam Higbee. It's just going to be those three and that's it, you know? But I think there's something very strategic happening, which is why all of that's happening just in that little space of time. They're really trying to make a statement. And again, there's a Philadelphia connection, and I think it's also the donors. I think there's something there with the donors, because the donors really wanted Charlie to not platform Dave Smith, not platform Tucker, and definitely not platform Candace. Charlie went against that. Charlie's gone now. Now, Erica is going to have to disavow, because those donors still want that to happen. They want Turning Point to be as far from Candace Owens as possible. That's why she's off the website now. And I think, and you know, we'll see, I think that's going to be the day that Erica gets pressured to disavow Candace. That's what I'm thinking. And also, it could be the moment where Erica says, okay, I'm the only one that can tell her to stop. Stop. I have a feeling Barry Weiss might even bring that up. She'll probably know that or be told that, and she might even bring that up. And then if Erica were to say, okay, Candace, stop, right? If she was to say that, then all of a sudden December 15th comes and we have Candace coming in with a different type of energy. She has to accept all their answers. And then it's a done deal. That's just me. That's just me. That's what I think's going on there. I don't know. But you know, I like to do some digging, I like to do some research, and yeah, I'm just trying to bring you guys a little breakdown of everything that's happening. But sad what's happening. I really wanted to see that debate happen. Now we're just gonna see Candace responding to something. And here's how it's gonna end. It's not going to end with Candace being like, all these answers make a lot of sense. Okay, I didn't realize that. They're going to give answers that just aren't good enough, or they're going to just call certain things crazy, and they're going to dismiss them. That's it. And by the time they're done that, their Philadelphia fans are going to be like, hooray! And all of us are going to be like, well, we're right back where we were because they didn't answer anything. That's how I see this ending, quite honestly. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring that to you. I'm out of here.